Hi, the title of my final project is Triggered, and I will be explaining how does COVID-19 affect Asian international students' life as a trigger. Before starting, here are some screenshots of the news, and I think these are the warm-up of the triggered of the effects of Asian international students' life. So the first and the biggest influence to Asian international students' life is anti-Asian movement. So anti-Asian bias rose after media officials used China virus. Report shows on March 9th, there was an 800% increase in such language among conservative media outlets. The language continued to be repeated by conservative social and news media channels throughout the months. Other officials, including President Trump, have also used the phrase despite criticism. The president has tweeted the term China virus on social media and used it in speeches, including during the Republican National Convention. It noted that the trend reversal was influential enough to offset more than 3 years of declines in bias. And I think this is the first step lead to the racism to Asians. And second of all, it also leads to our fear to wearing a mask. Because from my personal experience, at the beginning of the pandemic, I wore a mask on the street, or I'm walking on the street. Although nobody say something bad to me, but they use strange eye contact on me, and I feel weird because I'm Asian and I wear masks. Now let's take a look at the second aspect, which is education. While there's certainly the potential to reach more students in untapped overseas markets with distant education programs, there are still doubts about how popular online option will actually be for international students, especially among students already enrolled in degree programs. Fully 32% of international students surveyed by WES said that they would not continue their studies in online mode, while another 30% were undecided. This finding mirrors the sentiments of domestic students, which is 33% of prospective U.S. students polled in May said that they would defer or cancel their fall semester if schools go totally online. And from my personal perspective, I think online learning sucks because there's zero interaction with classmates and professors, and you have no experience. Then the third one is flight restriction, and I think this one is for most of the international students. So during the pandemic, due to the COVID-19, the flight are limited to prevent the spread of the virus, and it's extremely hard to get tickets for us to get home. And I bought 8 tickets at that time, and only 1 ticket was not canceled, and I got back home by that ticket. And then comes to visa cancellation, and I think this news is especially for Chinese students, which says U.S. revokes visas for 1,000 Chinese students deemed security risk. Although now it has been canceled by Biden, but it's still a discrimination to Chinese. So at that time, the U.S. said the move follows a proclamation by President Donald Trump in May aimed at Chinese nationals suspected of having ties to the military. He said some had stolen data and intellectual property, so he decides to cancel their visas. which is ridiculous, huh?